Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, Facebook, and good morning, YouTube. Hi. Let me just switch the screen. There we go. Oh, sorry, my bad. Let me double check that we're streaming okay to Facebook. That looks lovely. Okay, and should be all right. So let's turn the timer on and get started. Right, turn the timer on. Good morning, welcome to my Tai Chi exercise session today. Starting with some shoulder rolls. Why are you starting with shoulder rolls, Robert? That's a really good question. The reason I'm starting with shoulder rolls is for the last hour, I guess, since I got up and I've been in my office, I've been sitting down at the computer. My neck's a bit sore. Maybe I slept badly, who knows. And so, change direction. So I'm starting where I feel I need to start. The lesson, I don't like really teaching lessons, but you know what I mean. The lesson is if you need to work on a particular part of your body, either before you join one of my sessions or if you're watching a recording of one of my sessions, obviously change direction. Obviously you can pause it. Never be afraid to kind of go, oh yeah, that bit needs a bit of work. That's what I'm doing. Obviously this is part of my morning routine anyway. And so the fact that you are doing it to begin with rather than later will not matter. A jot, change direction. Not quite sure what a jot actually is. It's obviously a little bit, isn't it? Or at all. It's one of those terms in the lovely old English language that I use anyway, without a lot of thought. Keep those shoulders rolling and relax. Start now with the ankle, lifting the toe, lifting the heel. Also, as I say every time, if you want, sorry, let's do it sideways on then you can see. If you want to hold your body fairly still, that's fine. But equally, if you want to just relax the body and let it roll, you can. And then take the foot side to side. And the same thing here. You can either keep the upper body still or you can let it roll a little side to side. I quite like letting it roll with the movement in the leg, just as a simple, easy beginning of the morning way to just relax. And change the other leg, toe and heel. Excuse me. I hope you've got a lovely day ahead of you. If you're watching this, either live or within the next few hours, have I got some excitement. Change the foot, rolling side to side. Have I got some excitement? I've got somebody coming to fix the fridge, freezer, refrigerator, whatever you want to call it. The compressor died and we need a new compressor. So yes, wow, that'll be exciting. Also got some work, some teaching, variety of things. And change the other foot, circle the knee. relaxing the ankle and the hip, circling the knee. Change direction. And change the other leg, circle the knee. I think the last couple of days I've split the session. I think one day I split it into 4 parts, one into 3. I'm not going to intentionally do that today. I'm just going to run a session and we'll see how long it takes. May take an hour, may take less. I certainly won't do more than an hour. Well, almost certainly. I hate to say things like "oh, certainly," because if I lose track of time, anything's possible. Tuck the elbows in, raise the leg, and as you raise the leg, lift both hands up, and as you raise them, clench the fist. The important thing is that you keep the elbow attached, as it were, to the side of your body. That way, you're giving the biceps a little bit of a workout, as well as the muscles in the fingers, in the hands, clenching and unclenching the fingers. Just lifting the leg, the knee, straight in front. We're doing 2 minutes of this, so another 16 seconds to go. Then we're going to stay with similar exercises for about the next 4 minutes. So, lift a leg, lift an arm. Still lifting the leg straight in front. Switch to opposite arm and leg. Same side, double lift. Up and then up a bit more, up. opposite double lift. Breathing in and out through the nose. Couldn't think what I'm doing. Diagonal. I know, it's sad, isn't it? Diagonal arm and leg raises. Same arm, same leg. Yeah, same side, arm and leg. And as I've said before, I hate using the phrase arm and leg because I always think I'm saying almond, not arm and. But there we go. And opposite arm and opposite leg. That could be the solution to my almond problem. So the hips are fairly square on. You're taking the arm and the leg diagonally. And still staying with diagonal raises, but now doubling. Oh, if you find, as I do, some doubles are more, switch to opposite, some doubles are more sort of doubly and others are sort of, the second movement seems to get lost a little bit. Don't worry about it. If you can make them sort of nice and different, so it's up and then up. That's great, but don't worry too much. Okay, I'm going to add an extra one in, going just out to the side. And you can, let me just go sideways on. So I'm still going, it's still in front of the body, but it's opening to the side. We're just going to carry on with the same one. You should feel it's getting some slightly different muscles involved. Well, not in the arm so much, but in the leg. And obviously, you raise up to whatever height is appropriate for you. Another 24 seconds of this, and then we will change. I appreciate this section of the exercise routine is perhaps a little bit more arduous than I normally throw at you. Up and out. So the knee up and then out to the side of the arm, doing the same thing, up and out. As I was saying, yeah, this is perhaps a little bit more like hard work than we often do, but it's good to change things up or down occasionally. out to the side, into the front, or round to the front. Other leg up to the front, out to the side. Obviously, if you do need to take a rest at any point in time, take a rest, out to the side, around to the front. If you can keep going, the good news is we can slow things down in a moment, in 15 seconds to be specific. And feet about hip or shoulder width apart, circle. Sorry, got an itchy ear. Circle the hips. Legs relaxing, hips relaxing. They'll probably be quite pleased to relax after the exercises we've just done. Knees relaxing, bending slightly. Change direction, ankles relaxing. Nice, gentle circles. Make sure you're going forwards and backwards as well as side to side. So it is a circle. Excuse me. There was a change of direction. I can't remember if I said it or I was busy choking. I find when I get like itches, coughs, anything, well, early in the morning, I kind of think of that as part of the body waking up and a good thing, change direction. I don't think, oh, poor me, I've got aches and pains and itches and coughs and sneezes. I mean, obviously, you know, any day you open your eyes is a good day. I totally buy into that. But yeah, the body is waking up in a multitude of ways when you wake up. It's not a simple thing at all. Okay, these are outer circles, or at least I term them outer circles. Now I'm going to do inner ones. So this, I'm going to just come in, see. So this is much more of a hip movement. The hips are going side to side and forwards and backwards, and it gets you, small of the back still playing a big part, but I will also find, and obviously the abs, but the inguinal crease is getting some work as well, the qua in Chinese terminology, sort of, other direction. Tai Chi, as I'm sure you know, is a Chinese art. The problem with it being a Chinese art is Chinese, which, I don't mean that nastily by the way, I mean unless you are a native Chinese speaker, and perhaps even more than that, because my wife is a native Chinese speaker, albeit born in Malaysia, changed direction. Unless you're a native Chinese speaker, and perhaps a native Chinese speaker from several hundred years ago, the terminology that's used in Tai Chi can be confusing, let's put it like that. It can be translated just wrong very often. I mean, it's simple as that. You hear people saying things that are translations of Chinese, sorry, change direction again. They translate the Chinese from a modern Chinese viewpoint. Same as if you were to read Chaucer or Shakespeare or, well, any English writing of more than a couple of hundred years ago. There are going to, well, possibly even less than that, there are going to be linguistic differences, or linguistic differences that can be very confusing. Okay. Legs hip or shoulder width. Gently turn the waist from side to side. Sitting slightly backwards, sitting slightly diagonally backwards, letting the legs bend, letting the pelvis tuck under. And there's several exercises we've already done where that can happen. Well, a few. Sorry, I'm thinking about the exercises we've done. We're going to do this for 2 minutes, by the by. Relax the waist, turn the waist. Relax the legs, but keep the hips facing forwards, more or less. A little bit of a turn in the hips is okay, and there are variations of this exercise where you do turn the hips rather than turn the waist. But my feeling, keep going, sorry. My feeling, for better or worse, is that most of us need to mobilise, myself included, mobilise the waist. Our hips, generally speaking, will turn, not always the waist. We don't use it enough. Arms just floating. But as I've said before, you can either turn the head or you can just keep the head looking forwards while you turn the waist. I find turning the head, A, gives my neck a bit of a workout, B, encourages me to turn the waist a little bit more. And change. Legs bending and straightening, back remaining straight, body remaining upright, the movement in the legs, the up and down movement being transmitted through the body, through the shoulders, causing the arms to float forwards and backwards. Shoulders and arms as relaxed as you can possibly make them, the legs doing all the work. So what else am I doing today? Swimming. Swimming should be interesting. The pool that I have, which is a small above ground pool, to which I swim using a tether, which means I can swim continuously for whatever period of time, generally an hour. I can swim continuously without actually moving, which is great, so you don't have to waste time stopping or turning, or you just swim. So I've got that to happen, but I shocked the pool yesterday. I didn't smile at it. I added a large amount of chlorine to it, and I may have added too much. So I will be swimming today in highly chlorinated water, which well, it's not good for you, but it's not bad for you to do it once in a while. The skin doesn't like it, it dries it out, but it seems weird. You go for a swim in water and your skin gets dried out. At least I think that's what happens. We'll find out tomorrow, I'll let you know. And change. One leg after the other leg. Yes, the swim will be this afternoon, some Tai Chi this morning, some more Tai Chi this evening. If perchance you're interested in my evening Tai Chi sessions, which take place on a Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday evening. Drop me a message, make a comment, and I will tell you the details. Or you can look at the website. Not the number. Sound like an infomercial. The number on the screen. The website address is on the screen. It's very difficult, actually. I was talking to a student yesterday, and I was talking about a couple of the books that I've written on Tai Chi, and I was saying it's difficult because I don't want to come across as saying, oh yeah, you know, you must have this. This is, you know, this is essential reading if you're a student. It's just that I hope that it helps people. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm kind of proselyting ever so slightly. I don't quite have a religious fervour about Tai Chi, but sometimes it's not far off. I genuinely do think it is so good. Don't get me wrong, the exercise routines that I do every day, the swimming that I do every day, all are extremely beneficial. Some of the other things I do that are physical as well. That sounded kinky. So let us do some upper body rotations. Well, it sounded kinky to my warped sense of humour. Yeah, I mean, pull-ups and push-ups and other more sort of calisthenics type exercises, all of that is good to change direction. So we're just doing small upper body circles to begin with. We may do some big upper body circles later. And this is a bit like, I'm trying to keep the change direction. I'm trying to keep the lower part of my body fairly still. There is some movement, I notice, but trying to keep it fairly still, let the upper body do most of the work. And I am trying to do a circle, but obviously I find how far, it's easier to go forwards than it is to go backwards, basically, is what I'm saying. I'm trying to circle the upper body, change direction. Keeping the lower body still, gently bending the upper spine side to side, letting the head fall to the side and letting the shoulder rise. So there's quite a lot going on with this exercise. Going. We're going to do 2 minutes of this. Really try and feel the upper part of the spine moving. Really try and move the upper part of the spine. going. Now, roll the shoulders forwards, roll them backwards, bending the spine, the upper spine forwards, bending the upper spine backwards, lowering the head forwards and backwards. So again, this exercise as well, a number of things going on, working the shoulder blades quite intensely, bringing them together there, letting them relax and go forward. I presume when the shoulders come forwards, it's the pecs that are doing a lot of the work. But as I've said before, despite having done some anatomy and physiology at university, I tend to forget the names. Keeping going. Sorry, I was just looking at the timer there rather than nodding my head. Another 27 seconds. Feet a tiny bit wider, side to side. I'm making this personally slightly more than a range of motion exercise. I am stretching down ever so gently. I'm not making it what I would call a full stretch. I'm not kind of going, well, I'm not doing that. Just gently side to side, with just a little bit of emphasis on the last few centimetres, last inch of movement. We're going to do this for 2 minutes, and then we're going to go forwards and backwards for 2 minutes. Your mileage may vary, as the saying goes, but I find when we come to doing the forwards and backwards, if I'm going to get dizzy, that's when it's going to happen. I generally don't get dizzy, because if I get dizzy I tend to stop doing things. You should, but take it easy with all the exercises. If you do get dizzy, take it particularly easy with the forwards and backwards movement. Basically, I think that happens, and please feel free to comment below, as the saying goes, if you know accurately why. I think it's because you're not focusing the eyes on a specific place. The focus is changing all the time as you go forwards and backwards, and I think that confuses the brain, or confuses the balance part of the brain. Okay, here we go. Forwards and backwards. Nice and gently to start. If you can touch the floor, great. If you can't touch the floor when you're going forwards, that then should be your target for some future day. No rush. Get there when your body allows you to. Speed is up to you. If you want to hold for a second or two, hold for a second or two, you can do that, but I prefer with this exercise just to gently roll forwards and backwards, letting the spine curve in both directions. We're going to do some of those large upper body rotations next. Again, if you find you're getting dizzy, stop, or you may find it helps if you reverse direction. Excuse me, if you reverse direction more often than I do. I reverse direction every 30 seconds. If you need to do it every 10 or 15, that's cool. And here we go. Circling the upper body. Change direction. Change direction. Change. And relax. There, I get a bit dizzy when I stop. Woo! Rotate the shoulders. Sit back and down slightly. Feet about hip width apart. Not fast, not slow. Trying for a good range of motion with the movement in the shoulders. Change direction. After that last exercise, I've got some tension around where the clavicle, I think, I don't know, somewhere around there anyway. How exciting. Try and relax any tension you have. Opposite directions with the shoulders. If you can't do opposite directions, obviously do the same direction. I say that most times, but it's still true. opposite directions. Of course, I suppose opposite is the same, but it's not, if you see what I mean. It's not a double negative, is it? It's not. No, let's not go there. Tell you a story in a minute about one time when I was doing some lecturing. And circle the arms. So, story about lecturing. I was doing this lecturing, personal safety training, stress management, anger management, can't remember which. Probably not anger management actually, but one of the others. And my brain and my mouth were working at different speeds, which is quite common for me. And I'm waiting now for the ding to change the direction of my hands and tell you the rest of the story. Swing the arms the other way. And as I say, my brain and mouth were working at different speeds, and I got all tongue-tied. And I turned to the group and I said, well, English isn't my first language, Martian is. And a couple of people in the front row nodded their heads as if to say that's not a surprise to us in the least. So if they do find life on Mars, I'm probably related to it. Opposite directions. Other opposite direction. Just move slightly sideways. Make the next exercise a bit more visible. Be an aeroplane. You're not really being an aeroplane, but try and keep the upper part of the arms up and the lower part of the arms do the work. And the shoulders should be as relaxed as you can possibly make them. Other direction. Both in the same direction. And if you're finding this hard work, yes, me too. Coming up for, well, what have we done? 44 minutes of exercise, so if you're still with me, well done. And if you've taken a rest, very sensible, equally well done. Change direction. Oops, lost coordination there. I try and keep both hands sort of synchronized when I'm doing the same direction, but sometimes one hand sort of, you get the idea. Relax, tuck the elbows in, rotate the hands. All along I'm keeping the pelvis slightly tucked under, sitting backwards ever so slightly, keeping the legs relaxed and the knees slightly bent. So throughout all those exercises, I'm trying, not always succeeding, but I'm trying to also gently exercise the muscles in the legs. Excuse me. There was a change of direction, by the way, there. Full range of motion, keeping the forearms still, letting the hands turn as far round, both in the same direction now. Other, same direction. Out, out, out. You can touch hands. Sorry, I'm going to change it slightly. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. One diagonal, middle, other diagonal, middle, diagonal, middle, etc. So it's one of the middle ones basically and 2 of each of the diagonals, if you want to think of it like that. In fact, let's add a second one in there, and then that probably makes the whole exercise easier. 2 diagonals, 2 to the middle, 2 to the other diagonal, 2 to the middle, 2 to the diagonal, 2 to the middle. I'm controlling it so it doesn't do clapping, but I am letting the arms travel pretty much as far backwards as I can. And relax. One arm behind you, hand behind you, push down. So stretching, pushing down on the elbow, pushing the hand backwards. Again, relaxing the legs, sitting down. Change over, so letting the fingers walk their way down your spine, helping by pushing down on the elbow. Now I'm going to try a variation of this exercise in 7 seconds time, but you can just do the same thing. We'll just change hands and I'll show you the variation. The variation is you push it down and then you bring the other hand up and you try and get the fingers to interlock. Which I'm just managing on that side. If you can't, then obviously try the same thing on the other side. Push it down, bring the other hand up. Can I just get the fingers? I'm going to cheat. I'm going to push that hand up. And you'll see, yes, that was a bit better. I can just get the fingers to touch and grab each other. And relax. Just shake the hands out a little bit. Relax the legs, tilt the head side to side. I know normally I bring the hands up for this, you can if you want to. But the next thing, well, actually we will. Bring the hands up onto your chest, we'll leave them there. We'll do a minute of each of the neck exercises. The trick to this is lifting the ear up to the ceiling. I must confess, I kind of forgot that, never mind. Head vertical, straight, whatever, turning the head side to side, as far round as you can. I'm slowing it down a little so I can concentrate a bit more on the stretch at the end of the turn. Keep going. And up and down and in, up and back, down and in with the chin, down and in with the chin. You may have noticed, or you may not have noticed, but my legs just found a little extra inch or two of relaxation along the way, so they've bent a bit more forwards and backwards with the head, tucking the chin in slightly as you bring the head back. Then taking the head side to side. The head stays upright, but you move it sideways. As I say every time, this is very much a work in progress for me. This isn't a movement that comes naturally to me. So Don't worry about how far the head moves, just do the best you can. Tuck the chin down, turn the head from side to side. And relax the arms down and take the head in big, fairly slow U shapes. Gently just pull back on the shoulders ever so slightly. Up to the corner, down to the chest, up to the other corner. To the front and relax. We're going to finish the next few minutes with just some coordinated, Chinese would call it qigong, breathing and movement. So we breathe in, the hands float up, breathe out, the hands float down, breathe in, the hands float up to the sides, we'll just move so it's easier to see, breathe out, the hands come down. Breathe in, the legs straighten a little. Breathe out, the legs bend a little. Breathe in, the legs straighten a little. Breathe out, the legs bend a little. Here, the hands are facing down, the fingers are relaxed. Here, the hands are facing down, the fingers are raised. Here, the palms are facing towards the ceiling ever so slightly. Here, the palms are facing towards you. Breathing in and out. In and out. In and out through the nose, tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth or the gums behind the upper row of teeth. do one more pair of the exercises. Now here, let the hands come together and come to rest a couple of inches below the navel. If you can, close or half close the eyes. Just breathe gently. And open your eyes, give yourself a little shake, relax. That is about an hour and 45 seconds. So we did actually go over the hour. So yeah, if you want to give yourself a little bit more of a shake out, that's absolutely okay. Hope you enjoyed this morning's exercise session. Any questions or comments, please email me or leave them attached to wherever you have been watching the video, or if it's a recording of the video, wherever you have been watching you know what I mean anyway. Anyway, hope to hear from you, hope to see you again tomorrow. Thank you very much. Bye.